in there. NFL draft stuff. This is a process, right? And now we're into combine season this week, as a matter of fact, in Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a lot like the Super Bowl, but a little more expanded. You know, when the Super Bowl championship Sunday happens and you're like, I think the Chiefs are going to win. But then that week goes by. And then the pundits and the talking heads, because it's all everybody talks about, they're like, well, the Eagles do this well and the Eagles do that well. And you're like, yeah, they do. Maybe the Eagles are going to win. And you start kind of double clutching and stuff like that. I think we have that to a larger degree with the NFL draft. And I think we're going to start that process this week with the combine. Like, it's going to be a huge story that Bryce Young is 5'10 and a half.
Well,
we know he's 5'10 and a half. We watched him play. So, D-Mac, are you still on that? I think universally Lions fans were like, Lions fans, you have to improve this defense. You got to go defense with the pick. That's pretty much everyone thought that, right, D-Mac? That's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair to say.
Absolutely.
You still on that?
There's Yeah, I think so. I think at the end of the day, it's like I trust whatever Brad Holmes' plan is. I think that at the combine, what do you look for? You're looking for the drama. Who's shooting up the board, right? Who are we looking at? AR-15, Anthony Richardson. What are the
clear-cut number one?
Or the comparables, what are the numbers, all this. We're looking for who's the fast guy, who's the fastest guy coming out of here. We're looking for guys to shoot up the board and the guys to shoot down the board, right? Who's going to ruin their draft stock? Who's going to be caught holding the bong, so to speak? Laramie Tunsil, for lack of a better word.
Gas mask.
Wasn't it him?
Yeah, the gas mask.
Which I would have drafted him first overall. But that's
and you'd have been justified because he's a good ass player.
He's a great player.
Yeah,
absolutely. See, but it is the drama. We're into anything that's drama, and this is a mini series. This is like a 5-day mini series or whatever else at only this time of year. And to your point, it only makes for somebody's argument. Fuels their argument. Good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent. They're going to see what they're going to see, or they're not going to see what they're not going to see. So to me, it's more interesting because now you see like some of the quarterbacks come out and say, "I'm throwing on my pro day. I'm only going to do it on my pro day." I saw Jalen Carter. Right, he's not doing the combine. He's doing a pro day, or C.J. Stroud, or some of these quarterbacks coming out. They're choosing to throw at their university instead of at the combine. So I think that's the more interesting thing to me, Neil, is who's deciding to sort of like it's opt out than it is opt in. But also to the guys that opt in, who's going to make a splash that we haven't seen from Appalachian State or something like that.
Right, and to me, I think it's the old formula, right? If I'm a Bryce Young, there's no point in me doing anything. The tape's the tape. I'm projected to be, 1, 2, whatever it is. There's no point for me. Will Anderson, I wouldn't work out either. If I'm Jalen Carter, I'm not going to work out. Because why? All I can do, only outcomes are negative.
So it's more interesting to see what they do, right?
Right.
To see
I would do whatever my strengths were.
It's a mini series. It's a drama. Yeah. Guys opting in, guys opting out. What's going on? So I mean, it's football. Football rules. I mean, we want it all the time. It's our number one pastime drug, wouldn't you say?
No, absolutely.
Like as far as the sports world.
So with all that being said, D-Mac, you still on the defense train? And we got it on the WoodwardSports.com chat poll now. Get your vote in.
Yes, until I see something different. Like my idea might change if we go out and trade for Jalen Ramsey, but that can't be done until after June 1st, right?
Yeah. Money-wise, yes.
Money-wise, right? So we don't worry about that, right? So, yes, I would expect that, but if it's not, then there's a reason for it. Like if Brad Holmes decides to take Bijan Robinson at 18, who am I to argue, right? It's because I trust him, and if I'm going to trust his plan until he proves that who he doesn't pick won't be a backbone. Look at the first rounders that he's had. To me, that's all. Like, and Jameson Williams still has to prove himself. But you know what? As far as Hutch and Sewell for being his backbone on offense and defense, that's the guy. And I'm not even talking about the later draft guys.
WoodwardSports.com chat poll, as we said, do you still think they need to do defense? 75% of you say yes, which kind of surprises me a little bit. I'll go around the room. Sam Flannel, You still on that train right now?
I never want to pigeonhole them to just you have to go defense. Obviously, the defense needs improvement from last year. It was their weaker unit, but it did play a lot better in the last 10 games of the season, as we talked about yesterday. They were the 8th-ranked scoring defense for a 10-game sample size, which is a big sample size. To me, you have the opportunity with your first 2 picks, your 2 picks in the first round, to maybe experiment with a few things. Obviously, if Will Anderson or Jalen Carter falls, you should run to the podium and take them. And if Tyree Wilson, if somehow a GM can convince themselves that they should take Tyree Wilson over Will Anderson, plus 3 or 4 quarterbacks go before 6, that's actually possible. But I would consider Bryce Young at 6 if he were available. I would consider a Quentin Johnston at 18 if he were available, and plug and play him and have him be a better DJ Chark type receiver from day one. But at the end of the day, if you can get 2 defensive starters, maybe one on the line, one at corner, like, it's funny, I actually did a PFF mock draft simulator, and
of course you did.
Yeah, well, I had to do it for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, and you know who?
Of course you did.
Of course you did. Look at that subtle drop.
We'll talk about that later, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, again, that's 2 in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yes, but you know who?
Are you allowed to share this content with
Yeah,
us, or are
absolutely.
you
Can you talk to us
contractually
about
bound
it?
to the final
Absolutely,
word?
because this would be to
Not
me
copyright.
a dream draft when it comes to defensive players. In this draft,
And he'll tell you at 2:00.
in this scenario, it actually has Will Anderson falling to the Lions at 6, and then getting Joey Porter Jr. at 18.
Okay.
If that were to happen, that would be my dream draft. But my point is
That
that
fits right in with the final
Pants are
word.
tight.
You
My
can-
pants are tight,
yes.
Benny.
you
That'd be
can
awesome.
go defense and get
That would
2
be great.
defensive starters, but there are other things that you can do. It just depends on how the draft order shakes out. I know that's kind of a little bit of a cop-out, but at the end of the day, the Lions...
Cop-out by you?
Hey, the Lions do have options. They have a lot of
That's
holes,
surprise.
but they could improve on different areas. You could make this offense even more unstoppable, or you could solidify the defense. I love where the Lions could go in this draft.
WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Jack Harrington says Neil would be a great club DJ. I'm not saying I have done that in the past, but I'm not saying I haven't done that.
And he's
in
not
the
saying
past.
that if you don't present the opportunity and
I'm not
the
saying I
bag,
won't.
that
I'm not saying I
voice
will.
travels.
It does.
Voice travels.
The voice travels for the bag. Absolutely. Spenmo, where are you at with it?
Realistically, I think they should go defense. Like Sam said, at 18, the offensive pieces that I'd be looking at would be Bijan Robinson and Quentin Johnston, if you're even thinking of offense, but I'd like to see them go defense. I think there's a lot of holes over there. Obviously, I love Christian Gonzalez. I want them to grab him. And then interior defensive line is their next biggest need. And outside of Jalen Carter and Calais Cansey, I don't really see any first-round graded interior defensive linemen, so I don't want them to reach for anybody there, but they need to grab something. They need to grab playmakers, and especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where, too, like the defensive line thing, if I can't get my dudes, we've been single-handedly here at Big D Energy trying to push 4 quarterbacks.
Well, we're only
into
being
the,
realistic on the greatness
Right.
of the quarterbacks in
we're
this
just
draft.
alerting everybody to the greatness of the 4 quarterbacks that should go in the top 5 picks of the draft at a minimum. If you're a smart franchise, that's what you'll do. Because if not, we're going to take them, and we'll be even greater because we'll have all this cap flexibility and a quarterback on a rookie contract. We're going to take one. I swear we are. So if you want one, you
better come get it.
better either go get it or you better trade up and get it.
Better change my mind.
If you want one of the 4, if you want 1983 quarterback class 2.0, which is what this quarterback class is, you better make your way up there and be a part of it. Because if you don't, you'll be left behind, and you'll be chasing it at the quarterback spot forever. I'm just saying that.
All right. Hey, real quick, okay? Because this is going to happen right now. Carter or Anderson, you have the choice.
If I had to choose between the two,
If you had the choice. Are you hoping for so this tells
I'm
me
trying
Are you
to-
hoping to have the choice or are you hoping that this
I don't care. Either or.
No, but is it easier to have one just
The
one
choice
of them
made
there?
for you, you're
the
saying?
choice made for you, or right? Is this a make the choice for me?
Yeah, I don't care as long as I get one of them.
It's
you
a
know what I'm
harder,
saying?
but to my point that I just realized, it's a harder decision than I thought initially. If I had to choose which way I'm going to go, I almost wish that one of them goes 5 or 4 and one of them's left for me.
Right, which is all I'm asking is to get 4 quarterbacks in that top 5. Because in the math, again, I can understand
Yeah,
street
but
math.
you never know if a lineman could go or somebody could trade up or whatever like that. There's always a chance somebody panics and goes the best offensive lineman. Not saying that. So we could always hope. Just keep throwing in the universe to get one of them. I just wondered: would you guys rather have the choice? Do you have a definitive choice? Would you rather have the choice made for you that one of them is picked before?
I guess it becomes what your flavor is, like in what camp you are, because I think they need interior line help more. Like, just if you were valuing, what do you need more? You have obviously Aiden Hutchinson and James Houston. You have Charles Harris, hopefully coming back.
Yeah, but then you got 3.
Your edge spot is good. Is good.
I get it.
So you do need an interior defensive lineman more, like in terms of need, but I always have a need for great players.
I know, but then you're thinking I got Hutchinson, Will Anderson, and James Houston,
right,
and I can rotate them.
Which is why I'll get you.
Spenny, I can rotate them.
Which is why we'll get, we got Spenmo's take there. I'll give you my take coming up in just a second after I tell you on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Rack says, "Oh, it all makes sense now. Flannel must save all of his good takes for the other show and give all of his bad ones out here." Is he onto something with that, Sam Flannel?
No, I think I give great takes every single show that is honored to grace my presence.
All right, there you have it.